A while ago I did a time trial between the Niner Jet 9 and the Niner RIP 9 27.5, and those times were very similar, but I did my time trial on a course that was not very technical. It just had rolling up and down hills, a lot of roots, but not a lot of rocks. In fact, one of my subscribers said he didn't see a rock in the whole video, which is probably true. But today we're going to do a time trial at the Vortex Trail in Santos, which is very technical. There's like no flow on the whole trail. It's just all tech, tight turns. And honestly, I don't know which bike's gonna be faster at this point. I think the 27.5 is gonna accelerate out of those tight turns quicker, you know, brake faster, but since there's a lot of rocks, I think the 29er is going to get over those better. So I honestly don't know. I'm really curious about this one. I wanna repeat something that I said in another video, and that is the reason I'm using the RIP 9 27.5 as more of a trail bike and comparing it to a trail bike is because I feel like that bike is more trail than the 29er version of the RIP 9. I'm gonna head out on the Jet 9 29er first, and I'll wear the camera and just get a little footage so you can see what the trail looks like. I think the lap's gonna take 10 to 12 minutes, I don't know. And then I'll come back to the car and I'll grab the RIP 27.5. Okay, lap number 1 on the Jet 9. Oh, it's slippery. A lot of leaves out. Oh my gosh, these bars are so wide for this trail. That was close. Coming into the most technical section of this trail. Starting here. 29er does good there. Technical little section here. Felt great. Liking the 29er. A little rock section here. Can't go too fast. Little tech section coming up here. Got to pick just the right line, which is up and over. And I'll stop it right by this red sign. All right, 13:13. Okay, lap number 2 on the 27.5. Here we go. God, I already feel like this thing accelerates faster. And it's so nimble between these trees. Oh, this bike feels good. They both feel good. I have to remind myself on this bike not to throw the bars into a corner quite as hard because it turns so easy. Still gotta be careful on these leaves. Wow, 13:31. All right, so I was 18 seconds slower on the 27.5, which is kind of surprising, to be honest. I felt like when I first took that first pedal stroke, I was accelerating faster and it just felt more nimble. But there were a few times when I was riding it where I would hit a rock and I could feel the bike slow down a little bit more on the 27.5. So, you know, time is not everything, obviously, and I've said that before with the trail bikes. I just like doing time trials. I just like comparing bikes in as many facets as I can. So let me talk about the ride quality again on this type of course, because that's what's most important for a trail bike. It's not necessarily the time, it's how fun the bike is, how it rides. So I don't think I could peg a fun meter higher on either bike today. They both were fun in their own ways. So here's how that shook out. So the 27.5, like I said, the fun factor is just how nimble it is, especially braking. So coming into a corner, glasses are fogging up. So coming into a corner, just to be able to brake late and kind of whip the rear end around a little bit easier, because you have less traction, so you can kind of, you know, slide the tires a little bit more, which is a lot of fun. The 29er, first of all, that Jet 9 29 is, I think it's one of the best mid-travel 29ers that I've ridden so far. Just how stiff it is, how playful it is. I can't believe how playful it is. I can loft that front end, I think, easier than any other bike. The only downside is if it's a really steep climb, yeah, you know, the front end wanders a little bit, but that bike is so playful for a mid-travel 29er. So one of the negatives about the 27.5 is the fact that you feel like the front wheel can fold in under you easier, and I almost had that happen a couple times. So it's just so easy to turn that front end that it can fold in and you can push the corner too hard and slide the front wheel out. So that's one negative about the 27.5, and that's probably the only negative I felt today, other than being slower than the 29. But as far as ride quality, that's about the only thing. And you know, the tires, they're not as planted on the ground, which can be fun, but it can also be sketchy. Oh, one other thing. I had 4 pedal strikes on the 27.5. They weren't bad. They weren't like, you know, real hard ones. So I'm running that bike in the low mode today, which I like. It brings a little bit more stability to the 27.5. And here's, I'm gonna say this every time I do any kind of video with this 27.5. The best quality about the 27.5 is that you can add travel, so it has more travel than the 29, without making the bike feel cumbersome. So you've got more travel. I could feel the rear end of that bike just absorbing the hits a little bit better. So being able to add that much travel, but also have a bike that's not just really tall feeling and cumbersome, to me, that's the benefit of the 27.5. And it's worth mentioning that 27.5 has 175 crank arms. If it were my bike, I would put 170s. I think you could run it in the low setting and not risk near as many pedal strikes. So the 29er, I don't think I had any pedal strikes today, because that bike just, you know, the axles sit higher, so the bottom bracket's a little higher. I liked both bikes today. I would say the biggest advantage of the 29 today is just how it felt over the rocks. Like you just felt like the bike would get up and over the rocks easier. I mean, we've heard that probably 1,000 times now, but it's true. That's the benefit of the 29. And you know, I've said it so many times, but with that bike being so playful, it's probably the funnest 29er that I've ridden to date on this type of trail. So that's going to wrap it up for another bike analysis, 27.5 versus 29. Haven't picked a winner yet. you know, when I say winner, which bike I would choose, because I don't think there is a winner with these two bikes. They both have excellent ride qualities, and I could recommend both of these bikes so far. But when this is all over, I'm gonna go with one as my trail bike. So we'll see. I don't know yet. It's yet to be determined. All right. Any questions, comments, drop those below, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at ClintG37. Thanks for watching.